A lot of eating to do so I can accomplish my goal.
Of pooping on your neighbor's doorsteps for reasons
All of them, except for one.
Yep.
Except for one.
The good one.
I mean, you see that? That's good strategy right there, because if my neighbors watch this, I can tell them all they're the one. You see that? But I'm pooping on it all.
I like how this is a show mostly about Domonique threatening his neighbors.
Should I mean, maybe I should stretch it out over the course of a period of time so everyone can get the same amount, or should I just have one and chop it up and drip drop?
Yep.
But here's the thing, though. If you're going to do this, you got to poop a little bit on your own doorstep to throw people off the scent.
Oh.
That's why we brought Bill Barker on today.
That's Domonique. We're playing poop checkers. He's playing poop chess.
Yep, he is smart. And that's why I'm happy to have him.
Yes.
Like real, legitimate football analysis. It's deep. It's impressive. It's awesome. You can get this all the time on his podcast, which he used to have me as a guest on occasion, but never does anymore because I can't keep up with his level of football action.
It's mostly just poop strategy now, to be honest with you. It's mostly gotten away from
pivoted. We pivoted. Welcome to Debatable. It is a fake television show.
I'm tweeting it out right now,
where we
guys.
debate nothing.
Don't worry.
Domonique Foxworth, who was just complimenting our guest of honor today, Bill Barnwell, because he had allegedly sarcastically praised Bill Barnwell on an earlier show, came back today with a sincerity that is so over the top that it feels, admittedly, a little sarcastic again.
Mm-hmm.
But we are genuinely glad to have Bill on. Hello, Bill.
My friends, how are you?
Bill, don't play this game. I mean, I'm so nice to Bill all the time, and I appreciate all that he does. And he never, I give him a compliment, and he always spins all the compliments into like some sort of negativity. But you, sir, are a gift from God, as evidenced by that ray of light that is shining down on you. I love it.
It really is.
It's beautiful.
The one that zapped my hair? Yeah.
No, you don't see that. You don't see that.
Oh.
That ray of light shining into your, you don't see it? I see it.
Like a Caravaggio-esque.
I guess you can't see it because it's on you.
Refracting.
Yeah, we can see it because it's not.
Domonique, is that not a metaphor for the very thing you just described? We see the ray of light, and Bill just needs to open his third eye to see that we are just noticing that very real, sincere.
You're amazing. But I'm just warning everyone that Bill is going to say self-deprecating things throughout the course of this show, because that's what Bill does, and he pretends like he doesn't think that he's amazing and knows all the things, and it annoys me.
I know. He pretends that he's not the best football writer on our planet, and he shrugs and he'll say, Domonique played the game, blah, blah, blah.
Watch what he does now.
Yeah. Did Domonique play the game?
No, I did not.
I thought you just collect helmets. I didn't realize that you played in the NFL.
Speaking of helmets, we're going Broncos today because my son stole my Ravens one. He's a big Ravens fan. We're getting a cat, and on the list of names, Lamar and Hollywood.
Wait.
Hold on. Yeah. See, but that is what his neighbors do see. Depending on their security cam footage, HD quality is mostly just that posture. Wait a minute, Bill.
Right,
I think we're both interested in building the cat. We're both interested in this cat, right?
This is huge news suddenly that Domonique, a avowed animal, I would say disliker.
What?
Disinterested in her? What? is getting
outrageous. I grew up with a dog. My first significant purchase after a car when I got in the league was a dog that just died.
Some of my best friends are dogs.
Some of my best friends are dogs. I mean,
like you bought a car and then drove it to the shelter immediately afterwards.
No.
But Bill, people,
sweet English bulldog. Do not talk about my sweet Casio. He's awesome. And Keno, I had a Dalmatian when I was a kid. He was sweet too.
See, Bill,
actually, he was violent.
Sometimes people think that Domonique rescued Keno, but no, Keno rescued him.
No, he definitely wasn't a rescue. He's a purebred Dalmatian, which is also probably why he was a little bit crazy.
Have heard bad things about Dalmatians, but
aggressive.
hold on, wait. So wait, you just gave us a whole wind up about your dog history. What's the deal with this cat?
Yeah, I had a cat when I was a kid too. His name was AC because we adopted him. He was an alley cat. He lived in the alley. So he moved into, when I lived with my grandma, he moved in with us and we called him AC. So I did have cats. We had some lizards and other things, but my wife's allergic to dogs. So I know that there are hypoallergenic dogs, but I'm allergic to adding more responsibility to my life. So right now with 3 children, the oldest is 10. I know who's going to end up taking care of this dog, and I travel a lot for work. So we decided cat, a little more self-reliant. So anyway, you're bearing the lead. The lead is the two names at the top of the list, Lamar and Hollywood, are my son's naming choices because he likes the Ravens.
So these are 2 cats who are going to be good all fall, and then January they're going to disappear for a month.
It's a cat who really should have been a running back.
That's what you guys do on this show,
These cats will be unfairly evaluated by all the people in my neighborhood for their entire careers. These cats, people will say, maybe that cat should have been a dog. The whole time I own them, every time I try to have my cats running around the neighborhood, they're going to say, put a leash on that cat. It is obviously a dog. Look at that dog-like speed.
There's going to be 1 week where Taylor the cat walks by and suddenly looks great, and it's going to be like, wow, why can't that cat be more like Taylor?
It is absolutely going to happen. Man, my beautiful black cat.
Oh, yeah. Is there like I'm trying to think of a pet name to put on a Bill Polian pun, and I'm struggling. So
this is
Alabaster.
Unlike you. It's unlike you, Pablo.
I know.
I was
I'm
just
trying to be
texting
transparent
someone
with you guys.
yesterday. I would never normally say this to you, but since you've messed up, it gives me the opportunity to say this. I was texting someone the other day. It's how impressed I am with just in general how your brain works. Because it feels like to me, everything goes in there, and then it just sits around, and then at the right moment, you pull it all together and throw it out. And I was like, that was incredible. And then you just tried to do it.
Thanks.
And one of your jump passes went out of bounds.
Bill Las Absolian? No, God.
Save us, Alabaster. Save us.
All right.
Please.
It's time for our first trending topic. And we brought the 2 best football experts at ESPN and also Pablo Torre for this one. If the Patriots win tonight, you'll think what?
Oh, that's the sound of a first take producer. Oh, Bill, go ahead.
I will think they beat the worst team in the National Football League and not really be that impressed. This is a team, again, this is not just my opinion. You know, I'm not just going to have some dumb opinion. Literally, the last place team in the Football Outsiders DVOA statistic is not the New York Jets. It's not the Houston Texans. It's the Atlanta Falcons, a team whose reputation for years was we are good until the fourth quarter when we maybe go poop on neighbors' houses. We are a mess in the fourth quarter. And yet this team, the only reason they have had any hope of winning games this year is because their incredible kicker, Young Wei-Koo, has hit 3 game winners in their 4 victories. Their only win that has not involved a Young Wei-Koo game-winning kick at the death is against the Jets, and that should not really count. So I don't think the Falcons are really competitive with the New England Patriots.
I was going to follow up with some analysis, but I want to clear some room for Pablo because we're at a point in the NFL where there are so many black quarterbacks that I don't feel like I need to cape for them anymore. But we are not at that point for all other ethnicities. So Pablo, you got any coup for us? You want a coup for coup?
Oh man, guys, I have so much. I honestly, Bill, thank you for giving me a reason to root for the Atlanta Falcons. That's a real one. No, Young Wei-Koo beyond. Okay, let's just do some quick Minority Report, literal, I guess in this case, Minority Report analysis of who. I mean, so we're talking about Young Wei-Koo. We're talking about Patrick Chung, and maybe that's obvious based on the name, but then you probably see Patrick Chung and you're like, wait a minute, that's not a Patrick Chung, but he is Jamaican Chinese, right? It's a whole like colonial history there that's fascinating. Go explore that. Beyond that, though, it gets to slim pickings, right? Hold on, let me just double check something real quick. Hold on.
While you do that, I would
Loud
like to
sound
comment.
typing. Yep. Oh, I got it. Okay, what you
good.
got? Wait.
No. I just
No,
wanted to show some love to Bill's lumberjack shirt. It's incredible. I love it. It's so cute.
Oh, classic
good
millennial lumberjack.
That is nice.
I'm the person who ruined pink for millennials. Is what it boils down to with this shirt.
You're cool and young.
I like that Bill has the millennial lumberjack, but in like a Dr. Claw kind of background. Speaking of people who love cats.
You know what he is? He is the leader of the woke mob. Like that is clearly where the woke mob comes for their instructions to someone who is in the most masculine, historically masculine shirt you can find with the most like historically stereotypically feminine color you can find in an ominous background. You are King Woke Mob.
This is what you see before you enter the cancel culture casket.
I'm the one building the Antifa headquarters here with my lumberjack abilities. That's my day job outside of covering football for ESPN.
Oh, beautiful.
So quick cleanup on aisle Asian American football player. Yeah, so Josh Jacobs, half Filipino, noted. I didn't want to spoil this before we respect the question. Guys, I have intel. Marshawn Lynch might be Filipino.
What?
I know. I have a beat on this story. I have sources telling me that he has a grandmother. He's a grandmother that's a lot like my grandmother. Which
I want to congratulate you.
Thank you.
That's not just an NFL player. That's a Subway pitchman. That's big.
Whatever happened to those Subway busts made of cold cuts? Like RG3 got one, right? Like, weren't they giving those away? And I haven't seen them in a while. Maybe because they realized it was horrifying. But hold on. Okay,
let me years to get there.
Alabaster. Alabaster, I'm going to respect this question so hard because I think you can understand how tough it is for me to now pivot away from Marshawn Lynch maybe being Filipino to talk about the New England Patriots here for a second. But it does feel, Domonique, like if the Patriots win tonight, what they are mostly in terms of our business is good enough to call them chokers later. Like the whole underdog phase will have ended. And now here we are. Just dining upon a bust made of salami, except it'll be Bill Belichick's, and it'll be at the desk of the various daytime shows that we all appear on. So it feels like that phase will be over.
I don't think that it tells us very much. Like if they lose, that's a problem. We'll erupt, even though all good teams this year have had really bad losses. But if they beat the Falcons, they should beat the Falcons. As Bill just pointed out, the Falcons stink. They got some big name players or I guess household name level players. And Kyle Pitts.
What's smaller? Wait, hold on. Smaller than a household name is what? What's the hierarchy?
An apartment name, I guess.
So name is it. You start at the baseline.
Straight up neutral name.
Hey, you got a name. That's it. You got a name. But I don't know. You can make a name for yourself. It's interesting. Made a name for himself.
Maybe a shed
known
name?
in households. Shed, yeah. Yep. Like a patio name, like a narthex name. Like you're not quite in the household, but you're like adjacent to the household. But anyway, Kyle Pitts. Kyle Pitts might be an antechamber name. Yeah, you're right.
So I think that they aren't that good. So we'll see. Everyone expects them to win. They're getting a lot of hype, but I think the Patriots are getting a lot of hype in large part because we don't know what to believe. And when we don't, as far as the AFC is concerned, and when we don't know what to believe, we kind of fall back on something that we've known in the past. They're playing well, much better than they did at the beginning of the season. They have a quarterback who seems to be a game manager who has it in him to make some pretty impressive throws from time to time. They're playing good defense, and this is the Patriots formula. So they're good now, I guess.
Bill's frowning to the point where I demand that I understand the frown.
Okay. I can't believe I'm having this conversation with Domonique Foxworth, but I'm going to have it. I'm going to have it.
Give it to me.
What is Mac Jones, if not Teddy Bridgewater with better marketing?
Whoa.
Yeah, so I don't disagree with that. I said he was a game manager who has the capability of making some impressive throws. How is that not Teddy Bridgewater? Did you come on here deciding that you were going to fight me? Like, you could have waited. We'll find something to disagree on. We don't disagree on this particular thing.
You talked about making impressive throws. Like there's this hype machine over the past 4 weeks about Mac Jones that is just not real.
So the difference.
Yeah, go ahead.
No.
I want to see this fight. No, I want to see this fight. I'm in this fight.
It's nothing to fight about. I think that the hype machine. If you're reacting to the hype machine, well, we do television. We want to make things exciting and draw people in. So yes, sometimes you hype some things up, but I don't think that much has been said about Mac Jones that is untrue. So I can't speak for all analysts, but I haven't said anything about Mac Jones that is untrue. And also, part of the hype is a result of him being young. I think people are hype about him because they project him to be better. So he's a 15 overall pick, first-round guy. That gives you high expectations. He's outplayed all the other quarterbacks that were, 4 quarterbacks drafted ahead of him? He's outplayed them, or at least in recent weeks, he's outplayed them. So, that's where the hype is coming from. No one's saying that anything crazy like he's just like Tom Brady.
Well...
I mean, I understand that you are doing television, and I appreciate that. I'm gonna put a learning tree next to the Antifa headquarters I'm building, so I can sit underneath it and hear all the things about what TV is like from Domonique Foxworth. I mean, yes, he's getting that hype.
Well, so there is hype, and listen to Louis Riddick on ESPN Daily today, who is truly, I think, the man that Bill Barnwell is trying to fight with through Domonique Foxworth.
No. Bill Barnwell would never challenge anyone unless he really loves them. That's how I know he loves me, because I know Bill Barnwell is not out here for confrontation. Unless
did you say I don't love Louis Riddick?
Nah, you don't.
No.
You clearly don't.
What I want to know, though, because
Louis.
Alabaster is furiously flipping through cards to substantiate a sports argument. And what I want to know from Bill as that is happening is so those throws that are impressive, the success that he has had, the fact that he is exceeding expectations, which were admittedly low by comparison. What is your view on all of that? Because clearly you are puncturing through the hype in a way that I'm actually curious about.
I think this is a good team. At the end of the day, you look at their numbers over this 4-game winning streak by win probability. Their defense is number 1. Defense is playing great. Nobody doubts that. Their running game is 4th in win probability. Pretty good. Their passing game is 14th. And in this game where they've won 4 in a row. I think it's right to set expectations appropriately. It's right to be excited about the future. But this idea that everyone missed on Mac Jones. We all should have known he was going to be this superstar. He's not a superstar now. And there's plenty of time to go.
I am with you. I just wish that if you had decided that this is what you wanted to do from the start, then just say that. Don't call me out on the carpet like I'm the one who said this. So yesterday, these shows that you hate so much, I was on one of these shows, and Mike Greenberg asked me, if we redrafted, where should Mac Jones go? And I said Mac Jones would still go after Fields, as far as I'm concerned, in Lawrence. I said that the difference of Mac Jones' performance right now is Mac Jones is in a really good situation where they don't ask much of him. So I also think that a lot of the best quarterbacks in the league now came in to good situations where they didn't ask much of them early on. And that's how you develop a quarterback. So if Justin Fields was in New England right now, we'd be having the same conversation about him because he'd be playing just as good, if not better. If Trevor Lawrence was there, just as good, if not better. So if you want to come on here and fight a straw man, make sure you don't pretend like I'm that straw man, because I'm not. I'm not that dude, William.
You talked about the great throws. I want to get back to the Marshawn Lynch thing.
Now you want to get back to Marshawn Lynch. Now you want to get back to Sean.
1 second. This is an important question.
Okay.
If you could have a fast food restaurant make a motif, a design out of you, which fast food restaurant is it?
Oh, Auntie Anne's.
Really?
Can you imagine how the smell of that thing? Oh my God. The smell of my bust made of pretzels wrapped in a hot dog with some cheese dipping sauce.
All right.
Okay, hold on. Wait, you're telling me you can walk through an Amtrak station and not be seduced by the smell of that pretzel?
Oh, yeah.
That's sustaining our infrastructure in America right now.
That's
I
right.
walk through once a week, and I don't get it. I have last couple weeks. Got some pudding, delicious pudding from Magnolia.
Where you get Magnolia?
Magnolia. got some good pudding.
Banana.
Oh, they got a
pudding?
great nana. They got a great apple crisp. It's outstanding. Get you some of that Magnolia pudding. I bought some for the lady on Amtrak too, because I ride it every week, and she was jealous.
You're giving pudding. You're handing out pudding to
Amtrak
employees.
I ride to Acela every week. And so last week I had some nana pudding. I was eating it in the cafe car, and the woman who worked there was like, "Oh, you brought some for me?" And so this week I brought some for her. That's all.
That's another sarcastic Domonique compliment. Oh, I'll hand this poor lady banana pudding.
Here we go. It was banana pudding, not a college scholarship. Like it was $6. How is that me bragging? Like that's me.
Wait.
It's not a gold chain. Like I'm not. Don't have a diamond grill. I gave a lady some $6 pudding. I don't want a pat on the back, Bill.
You know how Amazon's running those ads like, oh, we pay our employees $15. We might even contribute to their college scholarships. We're going to see those ads for Domonique Foxworth in like a year and a half. Like, Domonique Foxworth bought 100 people banana pudding.
It's going to be like all the weight I put on this poor lady in the cafe car. I just make such a mess that she has to clean up. But you know what? It's okay because I bought her some nana pudding with wafers. So
to recap real quick. I have a bust made of pretzels. Domonique has a bust made of pudding. And Bill, what are you drafting in this?
Oh, that's a tough question. I would go with like maybe Zaxby's chicken fingers. Are we talking maybe we get some sauces mixed in there to get a little bit of like a gradient going on? I realize I'm pretty much one color, but at the very least, at least maybe some ranch would work probably, I would figure.
Who would we make a bust using Chick-fil-A nuggets? Don't answer that question. What's next?
The answer to that is Pablo's jeans. And our next topic.
Wow.
Well done.
Only, at the very least on Sundays.
Yeah. I have an answer that is not Pablo's jeans, but I really think I would get all of us fired. So moving on.
Our next topic. After a month of the NBA season, how long do you see the Ben Simmons situation lasting?
You're mean. You're mean.
All right. So a couple quick thoughts here. Number one, Teddy Bridgewater as Mac Jones with better marketing had me realizing that. Can you imagine? Remember that video of Teddy Bridgewater doing the what's it called, Domonique? This is where I ask a black person. Domonique, what's it called when he walks with the
he was strutting?
Yeah. Imagine Mac Jones doing that. It's like literally the last person you would draft in the NFL to do that. Secondly,
check your phones, guys.
This is
No, continue with your thing. I just texted you.
Hold on. Oh.
Right?
This is me throwing my phone across the room.
Oh yeah. Right? Oh yeah.
Oh my God.
You're happy I didn't say it, right?
That's the right answer.
You're happy I didn't say it.
Answer.
Right? Okay.
On today of all days, I'm very glad that you didn't say it. On today of all days.
What are we talking about? Ben Simmons? Yeah.
We're talking about Ben Simmons. So, okay. This is a story I actually do care about, and I care about it for a couple of reasons. One is that I think this is going to last at least through the trade deadline, possibly through the year. And that's something that I have been saying for a long time. So all of this sort of like roller coaster ride of the weeks and months that we've experienced, mostly on Twitter, I try to be sort of unimpressed by that because I've always known it was going to be a while. The second thing I'll just say real quick about this. So much of this conversation now is around mental health, and there's a serious conversation around that we can have. I just want to point out that people seem to be talking about it like in not the way that we should be talking about it, which is to say this. I believe that Ben Simmons has mental health concerns that he needs to work through. I believe that they manifest on the court. I believe that this is something that you can draw a line to and from his performance and his family and lots of other stuff that is like dark and serious. But I also believe that the stuff that's going on now with regarding his trade demand, like that seems like he just hates his boss a lot and the people he works with a lot. And I feel like there's a conflation there where no one really wants to say both things at the same time. But I feel like that's also what's happening.
That can impact your mental health. But before
absolutely,
before I pass this over to Mr. Barnwell, I would like to point out that that's how you do it, Pablo. See, you didn't wait for me to say something and then pretend like I said the thing that was in opposition to what you really wanted to say. You just came in and said, you know what I want to address?
Learning so much.
Instead, you didn't wait for me to say, you know what, we should respect Ben Simmons' mental health, and then say, you know what, I'm so sick of all you people talking about this foolishness.
I don't sound like that.
I wasn't talking about
you. If you listen to my podcast, you would know how I sound.
I wasn't talking about you. Jeez. Hit dog, gone holla. Anyway, what you got to say? Or cat. Don't hit your
What I got to say
cats,
about Ben
guys.
Simmons? Like from Ben Simmons' perspective, like, does it matter whether this is true or not? Like the moment he gets traded, I think all of this fades away. Like, it's not as if there's going to be lasting repercussions about how he acted, whether this is true or not, which I believe it is true to some extent. Like it doesn't matter. Look at the Jalen Ramsey thing. When Jalen Ramsey got traded a year or two ago, where it was, oh, my back hurts, I can't play for the Jags. The moment he got to the Rams, that conversation was over. He played, whether it was fake or not, it did not matter. Right. So, like, in big picture of what Ben Simmons getting what he wants, like, this is just temporary and it's going to fade the moment there's actually some action happening with this deal.
Yeah, there's a couple of things. Go ahead, Pablo.
No, I was just gonna say, Domonique, and I'll throw it to you. Like, that's the James Harden story too. That's the story of these guys wanting out. But Alabaster threw a card down there that I wanted your opinion on, because the idea that, like, normally the NBA, Adam Silver might be intervening here. Like, what they're basically doing is saying, you know what, we don't want to enable this degree of protest, holdout, insouciance. I don't even insouciance. Wow, that's a word I just realized I've never said out loud before until now. But Domonique,
grind this to a halt.
But ungrind this.
We had
there's the card.
And then you tried to use a word, and you already used, like, you hit us with the reverse Yosemite Sam, and that he struggles with a word and then he switches to another one. You gave us two legitimate possibilities, and then decided to go with the third to stutter on. I'm confused. It doesn't make sense.
This was the Wile E. Coyote running off the canyon, looking down and realized, I don't know how to pronounce insouciance.
But you didn't need it, is the thing. Like, you had already defined it. But anyway, I don't even remember what your question was. My ears were hurting.
Very insouciant of you to say.
From your insouciance. But I do think that there's a lot on this that I think is interesting. So the Daryl Morey part of this is interesting because he has his level of celebrity, I think, impacts this in a way that you wouldn't have with other general managers, because I think he has a reputation and he wants to keep it up, a reputation of being like the smart guy in the league that wins all trades and can make everything happen, was on to James Harden before anybody else was. Like, that's who he is, the one who swindles everyone out of trades. And now he's in a position where he can't win this trade. And he needs to accept that he can't win this trade and move on from him, unless he's just like hoping for some catastrophic change to happen at some point in the league. And also, like, recognize that a lot of people are cheering for him because he's in opposition to Clutch, which is the agency that LeBron started, and the agency that Simmons belongs to. And they have been making power moves, and I don't think that the old guard in the league appreciates it. So having Daryl Morey, their fearless leader, refuse to acquiesce to their demands, I think makes people happy. But I'm on the other side of that. As a player, I tend to believe in player empowerment, and I see that it seems like I actually said something that offended Bill Barnwell. So let me get out the way so he doesn't have to pretend like I said something to offend him, and let him be mad at me.
Yes. That's just not being a true friend. You don't recognize my facial expressions. That was all, if anything, that you, following the disaster that was the insouciant moment, you went straight to acquiesce. Like, that's real. That is a athlete's confidence there. Like, that's seeing someone shoot an air ball, and that's like, you know what? I am going to go and take a 30-footer right afterwards.
That is not in Ben Simmons' question, to be comfortable to shoot your shot from anywhere on the floor at any moment. But about the mental health stuff.
Yeah. No. Well, hold on. You saw Bill being agitated and ignored me also being agitated, because the idea that this trade has already sort of like been lost by Daryl Morey is not yet true.
Right.
I know that Alabaster threw a card on there that said that 30 players are on this list, and I don't know if 30 players as suitable trade exchanges are like, all going to make Sixers fans happy. But the idea that this is over is not true. No, I don't think it's over at all.
You're right.
I don't think this is a thing that Daryl should have acquiesced to by now, if I may also throw a heat check with the S and C words. Yeah, I don't think it's over yet.
Well, I mean, you're right. It's not over yet. But they certainly are in a worse position than they were at many points when Daryl first got there. They're in a worse position. Like, Ben Simmons' value has not increased.
It's not good for Daryl to have to deal with this.
Right, and their leverage has not increased. So that's my point. Maybe what you're waiting for now is some tectonic shift somewhere in the league. Like, you're waiting for a black swan moment to happen. Those things happen, but it doesn't seem like they have a strategy. They're waiting for someone to get angry. They're waiting for some injuries to happen so someone loses their will to win this season and wants to move on. Like, they're waiting for someone to decide that their current star or their current team, as it is constructed, they can't win that way, and they're going to send him away. Yeah, like, they're hoping for that. They have their fingers crossed.
Oh, no, you're hoping for maybe, so, a prominent NBA executive who is in charge of one of these trade targets to resign suddenly and embarrassingly, as maybe just happened in Portland, maybe just starting a domino effect of, by the way, you mentioned black swans, and 2 thoughts on that. Number 1, I don't think it's that uncommon for players to demand out and for bad things to happen and soap operas to suddenly consume teams. Number 2.
If you read the Black Swan book, that's kind of the point, is that we pretend like black swans are rare, but what we can expect is that black swans will happen. So
you hit Pablo with if you read the book.
I mean, do the text, Pablo. Do the text. Don't just come in my class spitting this nonsense because you read the Sparks notes.
Wow.
Get up in the lit, Pablo. Get in the lit.
By the way, is there? I mean, I still have.
Pablo.
I have my second finger up for a second point, but I'm gonna throw a third finger up and have a new point.
Yes.
Is there any business that's been more torpedoed than Spark Notes by Wikipedia? Like, the Spark Notes industrial complex was thriving back in my day, but now that's just totally clearly destroyed.
I mean, in college, Spark Notes probably helped you get through your school, but that's not what I use. I use good looks and charm. That's it.
Wow. Well, speaking of that, I'll return to my second point.
Real quick, sweetheart. Appreciate you.
That was, of course, non-gender specific. Domonique was an equal opportunity abuser of people's generosity.
Anyone who would write my paper has a sweetheart. Yeah.
That's right. Last point is that I'm shocked that you're just taking Black Swan on face value and just like, I'll use that term. That doesn't bother me.
I can say it. You can't, Pablo. So stop it right now. Immediately. Say it again. I'll be in New York on Monday night. I'll be right at your front door, and I'm not going to hurt you. It's those plants. I'm coming for all your plants. Peeing in all the plant pots, just letting it loose. Feeding them with all the nutrients. Anyway, I had another point.
All that banana pudding urine is going to go.
It's thick. I had something else to say. And I don't. It's interesting because I, as one of the many minions of Bill Barnwell's woke mob, have been on the defense of mental health and athletes, and I've been on that train. And anytime an athlete points to mental health as an issue, I immediately come to their side, whether it's Naomi Osaka, Simone Biles, or Kevin Love, all these players, I come to their side, and then it's no more questions asked. But it was probably a month ago at this point, Amin El Hassan said something that got my attention, and he was kind of but that's the job, which is a callous thing to say. But I also understand that if, and this isn't about Ben Simmons specifically.
No, I feel you. But I feel you.
It's not a new thing. Dealing with public pressure, dealing with disappointment, dealing with all of those things is the job. Not to say shut up and go do your job, but understanding that I don't know, any other job that you have out there, there are some things that come with doing the job. And I'm not sure where that's leading as much as it's just a point to the fact that I never even considered that because it doesn't impact me. And if I'm somebody, hold on, Pablo, let me finish this. If I'm somebody who's on the team, or if I'm someone who's building a team, I'm impacted by this also. And while we should have sympathy for anyone who is going through some mental health issues. Like there's also an impact on all the other people who are dependent on them.
So
Wait,
the
Bill,
John
go
Hamm,
ahead.
that's what the money is for.
Yes.
Yeah, I wasn't going to say
Yes.
that because it's even more callous than that's the
But
job.
that's what it is, though. Like,
I know, but I didn't want to
couch
say it
Like,
that
just
way.
be honest.
I couched it
but-
because I like couching things.
No, Domonique
Couches
was
are
on the
comfortable.
train of mental health, handing out pudding to DeMar DeRozan. We all know
Yeah,
this. He's an
I love it.
established history of that kindness. No, but on that though, like there is something to it beyond just the Don Draper end of it, which is a quote that I always think of as well. It's the idea of you can't. Part of the entire point of sports is to see if someone will psychologically crumble, right? Like that's
True.
I mean, not to
I mean,
quote
that's
Tom Brady here, but like, no, like, what's it like when you're out there and it's lonely and it's tough and you're getting hard questions and the questions won't stop and people are trying to kill you and they're trying to humiliate you? Like, on some level, that will be in conflict with human psychology. The question is, what kind of a birth do we have to give to people who are medically raising their hand and saying, this is actually getting tough for me and I want to do something about it that is, beyond the scope of what sports culture has allowed.
I mean, I think
it certainly seems like we are willing to grant that to people when there's not a trade offer attached, right? Like we're happy to say, oh, Calvin Ridley, like you're dealing with mental health issues. It's great. Let you, go do your thing. We'll be here when you come back, take your time. And that's great. And I think obviously he should be afforded that. Like, the reality is, like, we treat Ben Simmons differently, I think, or there's a subset of people treating Ben Simmons differently because this had not popped up until he wanted to leave. And that is, I think what happened at the end of the season would give a lot of people mental health concerns. I would be concerned about going back and playing in Philadelphia after what happened. But,
Same.
like, at the end of the day, like you don't get to pick and choose, even if it's unfair to the player in question. Like, I think there's going to be a subset of people who are just going to automatically write that off as fake, whether that's right or wrong.
Well, I mean, you do get to pick and choose. Like that's kind of the nature of being not a computer and being a person. Is like we have to make these decisions. And maybe in this situation, you'd like people not to pick and choose, but the context of every situation does matter. And I think that the reason why...
Who's the straw man you're arguing with about context? I just gave a 2-minute answer about how the context matters.
Exactly.
Who's the straw man you're arguing with, Domonique?
I'm arguing with the straw man that just said that the clear scarecrow that has on a scarecrow shirt that just said you don't get to pick and choose. You absolutely do get to pick and choose. Like, you're supposed to pick and choose. It's the whole reason why we are here is because, I fundamentally don't believe in absolutes. Like, nothing is absolutely true all the time, except for me absolutely not believing in absolutes. So I do believe that you do get to pick and choose. Sometimes you have to take in all the context into consideration. But I think that part of the reason why I'm so comfortable giving athletes the latitude to address their mental health is because I don't care. Like, I'm not connected, Like, I'm not connected to these teams in any way. Like, go ahead and lose. I don't care. Like, we don't win. That's fine. Knock yourself out. However, like, I've written about Vontae Davis. I interviewed him after he quit mid-game and talked about and wrote a piece about that. I've also written about my own like struggles with like mental toughness while playing in my contract year. So I understand all of that. But until the thing that Amin said, because Amin was speaking from a front office perspective, I'd never considered the fact that there are other people relying on that. And so like in the piece that I wrote about my contract year, I acknowledged that I got lucky. So the quarterback that's playing tonight that we don't think is going to win was a rookie. He played well. We had a great season. I got paid because of it. If he if he was terrible, if he stunted it.
The stunk.
Wait, which quarterback are we talking about?
But going down.
Matt Ryan.
Yeah.
We're talking about Matt Ryan.
Oh, okay. So Matt Ryan on the stunked meme.
If Matt Ryan stunted it, then our season would have been much worse and I wouldn't have gotten paid. So like if he had a mental health breakdown at some point in the season, I would have been hot. Like, I mean, because I was going through, like, it was the saddest. I wouldn't say I was depressed because I was never like diagnosed, but it was the best I'd ever played, but it was the saddest I ever was while playing. So like at many points in that season, I wanted to walk away, but I didn't feel like I could. And if all the players on that team, any one player on that team had some issue, it would have impacted me. Like the neighbors whose doorsteps I talked about pooping on earlier, it would have been a lot easier to lay poop at my neighbor's doorsteps because we'd have been in an apartment building where all of our doors right next to each other, and they probably would already had poop on their doorsteps.
All right. So basically, we've come all the way around to subtweeting the fact that I live in an apartment. So Alabaster.
Yeah.
Alabaster, get us out of here.
Okay.
We spent too much time on this one topic. Is that the
No,
problem?
that was great.
I got more. Don't listen to the green. Just because he got the green arrow doesn't mean that he's in charge. Alabaster, next topic, please.
It's time to play a game. And that game is Whodunnit. We'll give you guys a quote. You guys got about a minute to come together and tell us whodunit. Our first quote. I don't need a bleeping coach to inspire me. Never have, never will. The day I need a coach to inspire me is the day that I'm bleeping retiring. I'm going to play with my kids in the park. And your choices are A, Montrezl Harrell, B, Markieff Morris, C, Draymond Green, or D, Tristan Thompson.
I was hoping that there would be E, Domonique Foxworth here.
Yeah, I was going to say it. This sounds like something Domonique would say.
It really is.
Yeah, I mean, I did retire, and I did a lot of playing in the park. I mean, it seems very Draymond-y, but I don't think that Draymond actually said that because it just doesn't. I feel like I would have heard it if he said it, and I haven't heard it.
Yeah.
I think we got
Markieff Morris would have said he was going to go play with his twin in the park. He wouldn't have said his kid.
Exactly.
So we can rule that one out.
So we've narrowed it to A or D. I'm leaning A because I don't know, because I feel like no one's asking Tristan Thompson questions right now.
So we're gonna
plays for the Kings, though.
Yeah.
That's true. Wait a minute. And wait, Luke Walton is the coach of the Kings.
Yeah,
Luke Walton is
and the Wizards
hated.
are playing well, so it's unlikely
great point.
So we're going to D?
D.
Yeah.
All right.
Alabaster, final answer. D.
I don't need no coach to inspire me.
Yeah. We did it.
Never will. The day I need a coach to inspire me is the day I'm retiring. I'm going to go play with my kids in the parks.
Outstanding cornrows, too.
I feel like the Kings have that effect on people, though. You know, like, I feel like you grow a lot more nihilist if you spend time with the Kings. Like, you just, not only do you not like basketball, you start rejecting the concept of basketball. Like, the infrastructure of basketball just seems superfluous to you because you know that it's only going to lead to you losing.
You nailed superfluous. That's impressive.
And you did not nail superfluous. I know. Saying that he had nailed superfluous.
I know.
As the one non-Harvard graduate on this panel, I feel like
that's right.
Oh, with this foolishness. Right. I'm not a Harvard graduate. The business school is on the other side of the river. It's an entirely different institution. We are not smart. We are greedy. It's different. The people on the other side are smart.
Stu wants to pretend he went to Tufts because he went to the business school. Come on.
Domonique was that creepy grad student where he was like, why is this older guy asking us to write his papers for him? This is weird.
And why is he calling us sweetheart?
This man is 32 years old.
Oh, man. You don't write papers in business school, dummy. Moving on.
You just do fake internships for like oil tycoons?
You just strategize on how to better destroy the world. Is it how to extract more revenue?
Coaches.
Alabaster?
We do actually. We did that a lot.
All right. Our next quote. This losing streak is no one's fault other than everybody's. And your choices are A, Bruce Arians, B, Urban Meyer, C, David Culley, or D, Matt Nagy.
Ooh.
Okay, so Urban Meyer would not be willing to blame himself, and himself would be included in everybody, so he's out. It's not Urban Meyer for sure.
Good thinking.
David Culley, like the losing streak was anticipated, so I don't think that he would feel the need to lean on it. I think
no.
And Matt Nagy, even though they're losing, people are excited about what's happening there. I think we're all circling A, right?
Well, Bruce Arians does like to criticize even the players that don't like to be criticized. Tom Brady being one of them. I feel good about Bruce Arians. Are we going final answer?
Final answer.
Final answer, Alabaster. A, Bruce Arians.
Bill is cheating. I'm sure he actually knows this. I don't. Bill reads
I have no idea.
About
no one's fault other than
we're all Nagy.
It's
I
no one's
appreciate that
fault
I'm
other
being
than
criticized for
everybody's.
doing prep for the show.
So,
Reading
Bill,
emails on
what
episodes
about
of the show.
doing this show so far? Feels like it has been prepared for by anyone.
I mean, the only thing that was prepared was that take that you came at me in the very first thing. Like, you were so ready to get me on that one.
By
Pablo,
the way,
can we go back to the card with the quote? Go ahead, Pablo. I just want the quote up there for a second.
Okay, yeah. Alabaster threw the card with the quote on there while I asked Domonique how good he felt when he realized that Bill's shirt had scarecrow vibes.
Oh, man. It was like you are wide open and the ball is coming to you. You're just like, don't drop it. You're in the end zone. Just drop it. And I was just like, do not fumble the straw man bag because this is coming to you. Just take your time. Focus on the ball. See it all the way in.
Pablo, let me ask you a question.
Great.
How excited are you that someone else's piece of clothing is being focused on, and that your jeans might be like you're like the kid who gets bullied, who like sees someone else getting bullied, and you're like slipping away, like, oh yeah, go after him.
I threw off my jacket earlier in the show in celebration. I'm feeling great about it.
Well, this the reason why I wanted to quote back up there is because I wanted to come between you and me, Pablo. We have clearly established ourselves as wordsmiths throughout the course of this episode.
Yep.
This sentence don't even make any sense. This losing is no one's fault other than everybody's.
Other than everybody's.
Huh?
Yeah.
I feel like Matt Nagy is someone who, in his press conferences, likes to use like very sort of abstract, weird sentence structures to mask the fact that he's not saying anything possibly. Like, I feel like, he's not a very good football coach, but I feel like as a linguist, like as a sort of like, postmodern linguist, I feel like Matt Nagy does actually have something to offer to the NFL community.
Postmodern, great word to attach to any sentence. Automatically makes you sound smart.
Guilty as charged.
Guilty as charged. Doesn't matter what 100%. You're saying. Is you say postmodern
that's
before
game.
or
That's
after
game
it,
right there.
Ooh, people are gonna be like, man, existential is another one.
Come on,
throw that in the middle of a sentence.
These are just subtweets.
Throw that in the middle of a sentence.
Stop
on
subtweeting.
You are on fire. And I'm gonna do it for the rest of the show. Just find some way. I feel like that's it. Oh
no, Dominique's going
to feel like postmodern capitalism. You say that all together. No matter what you have said, once you said it, you're a thoughtful person.
That is, for the record, a Harvard Business School education, everybody.
Yes.
So congratulations.
HBS degree, Domonique Foxworth. Man. Can I point out that Matt Nagy gave this quote on taunting months after his team was featured in a blowout loss on Nickelodeon? Do you think that makes Matt Nagy more of a reliable source for this content? Or that he should be just disregarded because he scarred young children for life when it came to watching NFL action.
Oh
man, can you? I mean, there are a few things more offensive to children than forcing them to watch a Matt Nagy offense. It does seem indecent.
I do think that watching Matt Nagy on Nickelodeon puts this society in a scary place. I'm very concerned about the existential postmodern capitalist society we live in once we have Nagy running drop back passes with no help for his tackles.
He's just running a postmodern offense, Dominique.
The insouciants.
Not smart enough to get it. The insouciants. Alabaster, I'm sure you're feeling real souciant lately. So what's next?
It's time to play a game. A new game.
Oh, a new game.
A new game.
I'm going to have to pay attention.
And that game is What Are the Chances?
That's an old game.
Oh, okay. Just a different game.
This is a different game. Get your words
new for
together.
Bill. Yeah. Very old for
all games are new for me, to be fair.
I should have used a word that would have made me sound smart like Pablo and said canonical. But anyway, our first topic.
That's another
way to flash on him.
Another subtweet.
Yeah.
What are the chances that this possession should concern the Lakers?
Los Angeles Lakers, and in our conversations with Frank Vogel, he alluded to the fact
Yep, saw this
one. Time together.
Beautiful.
Oh my God.
Winding itinerant road trip. As Westbrook tried to revive the ball, bring it back to life on the dribble, and missed the shot.
Okay.
The ball.
Okay.
So that's Russell Westbrook trying to do the thing where he's casually trying to get the ball to bounce by not actually trying so hard. So he just goes like this.
Okay.
I like
I'm
that.
going to say 0% here. Can I go first? I don't know how this order works.
Yeah, you can go first.
I'm going to say 0%, and here's why. You traded for Russell Westbrook. like this is what is going to happen. Yeah. Like, you have to acknowledge that's the case. Like, at some point during the season, Russell Westbrook is going to have to, like, what is that thing you use when you're a person is their heart isn't beating and you have to give them the electrical shocks?
Oh,
defibrillator.
Yes, defibrillator.
He tried to defibrillate the basketball to get it back to life, and it didn't work, and that's fine. But like, you have to accept that's going to happen.
Oh man!
That's
so
just
now,
if
you understand, if you know Pablo, at some point he's going to work defibrillate into his answer.
I was about to do that. I was about to say Bill just defibrillated his answer by not knowing what defibrillate was, and then pronouncing defibrillate appropriately.
I would have been wrong, but I was going to say that you were going to say the Lakers need to defibrillate their season. I thought you were going to go that route.
That's good too. I might have gotten there.
That's an ESPN Daily segue. That's not a debatable segue. That's me.
Just revealing all of the tools of my trade today.
Is this so good?
That is. I don't
know. 0% for me too, because I like Bill and he's smart.
All right, so I'm gonna go with another tool of my trade. I'm gonna use a statistic from the players' current season to make my point, and I'm gonna say there is a.
This is good. Never mind. I take back my question. Clearly, this show is good.
Wait, what's he got? Hold on.
When you have to get this close to the screen to find the stat that you
I'm
want
real
to use,
old. Hold on.
I think that's telling. By the way, do you think?
No! Come on. That's
right. Good job.
I was gonna go with it should be 69% because that is Russell Westbrook's free throw percentage. How dare you preempt my great funny answer that makes this show good?
Oh, I got to cross out.
Wow.
I just want you to sit in it. I just wanted you to stew in the funk of that. Because it was a bad answer to start with.
If you don't think this show is good,
it was a bad answer to start with. And then you made it worse by building up the anticipation. Like, once you started leaning in, I was like, oh, is this a bit? Should I stop talking?
Mm-hmm.
Because he's setting up, he's pretending like he's looking for something. And I was like, let me be quiet. He's about to drop something on us.
I was straight up being like, is 30% from three even embarrassing for Russell Westbrook anymore? That was my first answer. And I was like, no, wait a minute, 68.8. I mean, me and Alabaster are in the two-man weave on this.
You even had to round up to get this bit to work. Pablo, I'm not going to lie. I want to take your side in most situations. But I can't.
You are
I have
rounding down this show by saying that nonsense. And then, of all numbers, like, you should have been smart enough not to round. You say 68.8 because then it allows us to focus on the point of your joke. Once you say 69, the Gronk in me thinks you're making an entirely different joke. So like I went on a divergent path and I was like, actually, no, that doesn't make any sense either. And I was just wondering, like, is this going to work? And the answer is no.
Do you think the professor could have saved that situation? Do you think he could have brought that ball back to life?
All right, our next one.
The professor. Love him.
I follow him on Instagram, by the way.
Really? He's still out here crossing people
professor. Oh my God, he has not stopped.
He's still crossing people up? And one. Do they even make and ones anymore?
No, so my favorite one on the professor's page is when he sometimes will stop the video before the shot goes in because it doesn't go in. And he just sort of like, it's because you can't, anyone knows, you can't put a miss on a highlight reel even if you broke the guy's ankles. So.
Is he still, so he's just like traveling by himself, or is the And One mixtape tour still happening?
I think it's now a postmodern And One mixtape tour.
Do they make shoes and shirts anymore? Or
they used to.
I know they do. Like, that's when it got started, like the cool shirts with the trash talk on them.
That's right.
And then they tried to make shoes that no one would wear. And then they just became a mixtape tour. Anyway.
All right. Alabaster, you give us this thing, and I'll Google whether the And One mixtape merch still exists.
Okay, final topic in today's show. What are the chances this was good defense?
Somebody yelled, "Walk it off."
Somebody else. Classic parent fix for any situation.
I mean, I guess the purpose is to keep them from scoring a goal. So it's good defense. You didn't use your hands. I mean, at least the second girl managed to get it on the side. I feel like the other one. Yum.
Do you remember what's that Mr. Rogers quote about the helpers? Look for the helpers.
Yes.
That the second girl who went in, who tried to block that shot, That's right. One of the helpers. She is a helper. Everyone else on that free kick wall, first girl gets hit, they are not budging. They are staying. They're looking like, do we have to stop the game? Is this person bleeding? This poor girl is just sprinting forward. I like it. Block the shot. And then blocks it. Doesn't put her hands up. Blocks it with her face.
It's soccer. You can't put your hands up. They already have a free kick right now for that reason.
I watch a fair amount of soccer.
No, you don't.
There are moments where people put their hands up out of sheer fear. And after that first shot, that would have been one of those moments.
You've never watched soccer before in your life. You don't know anything about soccer. You want to know something about soccer? Let me teach you something. It's called football.
Wow.
Peasants. Don't know
so you guys are not going to give numbers to your answers?
Nah, I'm good. Nah, I don't want to anymore.
I will go with, or are you going to look at her stats, Pablo, before you give your answer, or should I? I'm going to go 99%. I feel like 1%, maybe she should have protected herself and thought about the big picture, but I appreciate how much she was willing to sacrifice for the game.
All right, I'm going to go. Wait, are you giving a number, Domonique? Have you consented to play the game?
I'm following my fearless leader, going with 99.
Domonique is playing this game in a very postmodern way. He's beyond numbers at this point.
Yeah. In fact, that's why my number is 100% Alabaster, if you want to throw that on there. And then I'm going to ask you to play the video one more time because I just noticed something.
Uh-oh.
Oh, boy.
So I just realized that this video is just a metaphor for today's show. Domonique is the girl in purple. Bill is the first person, and I'm the second person.
I don't
think that's what doing the show today has been.
It hasn't been like that at all.
Just trying to prevent Domonique from getting shots off that would get us fired, sacrificing our bodies.
He's the one who's in purple. He shot it at me first.
I'm sure the kicker of that free kick is like, oh, well, they should have just got out of the way. That would have solved their problem. That's what Domonique would say in this situation.
It would have solved everyone's problems. No concussions and a goal. Problem solved. Man. Neo's another one of those. I feel like you can add neo onto any other word, and now it seems like you're smart.
Oh, like a neo-Marxist.
Yeah.
Like a neo-capitalist.
Neo-capitalist, yeah. Neo-existentialism. No, not that guy. He's very smart, though.
I wonder if is it going to be good, the new Matrix movie?
Yes.
No. The last two were not good. I feel like I am a little surprised there was not anybody on the N1 mixtape tour named Neo, though. I feel like the times match up really well.
Which reminds me. Yeah, you can get an N1 mixtape shirt. It's $14.99.
I don't want one.
100% cotton.
Intrigued, but not interested.
Yeah,
but hey, I mean, if you want to hide after pooping on all those doorsteps, you can change into an N1 shirt. No one's going to recognize you. They're going to think you're someone who traveled from the past. You're going to be good to
go. Trust me, everyone in my neighborhood is going to recognize me, Bill. I don't quite blend in.
That's the banana pudding guy. What's he doing?
They're gonna be like, wait a minute, that guy with the shirt that says the two strong. Wait, hold on. Oh my god.
Oh man, no. Clear it out. ISO for Pablo. Give him a one shot. Give him a one shot. Give it to him, Alabaster. You do it right now. There we go. All right, let's hear your joke.
Yeah. Oh God.
Do the joke.
These are so. Hold on.
Do the joke.
No, I'm finding a better one. There's so many.
It's too late. See, you could have saved the fact that it wasn't funny by leaning in on how it's not funny, but now you're trying to actually be funny.
No.
Like you are missing these layups. Ben Simmons. See how I did that? It was funny.
No,
Mr.
I'm looking for
68.8 himself.
This is a mess. There it is.
Oh, did they start the countdown?
He's passing in that photo.
No, they didn't start the countdown.
Good.
They just put up a picture of Ben Simmons. So we're just waiting for you to look up an N1 shirt that you like.
Yeah, exactly. There's
Call
one
me the bus
particular-
driver because I take you to school. Like I remember that one.
Yeah.
That's
There's
the
a
one
real
you're
thin
looking
line
for.
between like co-ed naked shirts and N1 shirts though.
I feel like
That's a different topic.
was it No Fear?
Yes,
Or-
No Fear is halfway between co-ed naked and N1.
is N1 like the cooler version of that, or it's just the same thing?
Yeah, No Fear is like a lot of white kids like me in the suburbs would have worn No Fear shirts. N1 was like, you got to go to certain stores for that.
It didn't make it out to the suburbs
Yeah,
until much later.
We don't have the N1 shirts at the mall. We just have the No Fear shirts.
Oh my goodness, Pablo, what
What's
are
this
you
bonus
doing?
topic?
This better
So
pay off.
this is what's been. We'll get to the bonus topic in a second. I've been fooled by a lot of fake and1 T-shirts. Is what happened there. I'm sorry.
So they were
There are a
like
lot of people
insulting?
who created fake ones,
Yeah.
and I was gonna be even more embarrassed by reading a fake and1 shirt. Yeah, because
Bonus
like my
topics.
game is a mystery, and you don't have a clue. Like that's a real one, but there are some fake ones that are funnier.
That one's not
anyway.
good though.
That
They
one's
need
not
to
good.
That's why I
hire
didn't say it
better
before.
writers.
That's why I didn't say it
No.
before.
That one sounds honestly a little romantic, to be honest with you. That sounds like a little bit of like N1 and also maybe a little bit of love.
Yep.
And who doesn't
right,
need that in
Alabaster.
these times?
We got to
All right.
explain what bonus topics is. It's just a time
Oh,
when
yeah.
Alabaster has used his burner accounts to insult us online, and now he pretends like he's reading actual tweets that are mean to us.
All right, so the first one of those, definitely not a burner account from us. This is at Pablo's Jeans, whose name is I Heart Mac Jones. At Debatable. Wow, what a show today. Good tweet.
That's a good tweet. Good tweet, bad tweet.
Oh yeah, we play good tweet, bad tweet now. Bill.
Yeah,
Good tweet, bad
All
tweet.
right.
Good
Where's the bad one?
Here it comes.
At Pablo's Jeans is a real account? Oh my gosh.
And it's actually not one of our burners. All right, our
Wow.
next tweet comes from Amani Heron. Fox bringing the heat today against all strawman Barnwells. The Stonks meme with Matt Ryan.
Great tweet. Great tweet.
Man.
Oh my
Amani
god, I would pay
Heron,
so much money for
yo.
this service.
Yeah, can we get this like printed and frameable? Because Amani Heron coming up with honestly, like, who knew? If you wondered, is this show good? We had a conversation about mental health, and it ended in this.
Oh man. All right.
I would pay for someone who was good at Photoshop to just do Photoshops on demand for me like that. On the
All right.
internet every day.
Our last tweet comes from a big-time fan of the show, Long Live the Queen, who tweeted, Domonique should name his cat Mac after his favorite
Ooh.
quarterback, Mac Jones.
Ooh.
I like that. I would pitch it to my son, but he's not going for that. He's a Lamar. Yeah. Oh, Sir Whiskers. Yeah.
What
Oh, yeah.
about Cork?
My
from
wife posted
McCorkle?
that. I think I was gonna name him Pablo.
Wow.
I don't have any say in this, so I'm surprised, honestly, that my son is leading the charge on this. Because actually, I'm not surprised. He pretty much runs the house.
I feel like the best part of a cat is rodent management, which is why I thought about getting a cat. But ironically, I had a cat allergy and just had to murder hundreds of mice myself.
Nice. Way to go.
That brings us back to the 90s alt-rock conversation from a couple days ago. There's got to be a Third Eye Blind song about that at some point.
I mean, Pablo, you're trying to get canceled. You're out here killing mice. You need to catch them and free them. I don't know how.
In front of the woke mob. too.
Yeah, in front
Even
of
worse.
the kingpin of the woke mob, the godfather of the woke mob.
I am dressed like Antifa now that I realize.
Oh man, yes, follow us, rate us,
Yes.
give us 5 stars. I don't know, is that
Yeah.
a thing? Do we have a podcast yet? Where's the music?
Music.
What
Where is the
going on?
music?
They lost the
show.
rights to the music during
Oh,
the show.
come on.
I wrote that song
Really?
and performed it. We can't hear it.
We can't hear our own music.
Why can't
You're the
we
people
hear
who
it?
need to hear it most.